Hey everybody, it's Sunday, so it's time for FMTV Weekly. I am Peter Brown, and man, I was checking out the chat before the show started. Tons of people in the chat already. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Thanks for being early. And as always, I cannot do this show alone, so please welcome in our buddy Uncle Ed.
How's it going, downtown Peter Brown?
Doing all right. Just got in by the hair of our chinny chin chin. Sorry if we were a couple seconds late, everybody, but that's how it goes.
How we roll around here.
Just dragging off the beach or out of the pool or whatever you're doing. South Florida life.
You're always in the pool lately, Peter, because you send me pictures of you just chilling there with your flamingos. I don't see a hair in there.
Where can I find one? Where can I find a heron floaty?
I don't know, man. Inter Miami needs to do that, man.
Caneswear, get me a heron floaty. I'll buy it from you.
Make it happen, guys.
Yeah, make it happen. Well, we got a fun show tonight. As you saw in the headline, maybe a little controversial headline. Some people thinking it's way too early to talk about who is potentially in the hot seat. Other people on the internet are ready to fire everybody. So I figured now is a good time to at least have a conversation where the blame should go if we're going to play the blame game. It's never too early, right? And right now, we're sitting at home. I mean, our players are here back in South Florida, and they're not in the tournament anymore. Somebody's got to take the fall for that, right, Ed?
Exactly. I mean, what the heck, man? I thought we were going to win that thing, and look at us now. Straight home.
We won something. We got a record, all right, just not the one we wanted.
Exactly.
0-5 start is our record. But before we get too deep into all this stuff, do want to say a big thank you to one of our sponsors, Caneswear. Mentioned them just a few seconds ago. If you guys could come up with a heron pool floaty, I'm all in. I'll buy a few of them. But go to Caneswear, go to caneswear.com, or go to the store at Caneswear. Everything is marked down at Caneswear. I got an email from Caneswear that a lot of their things in their store are marked down 60%. I mean, stuff from the University of Miami, Miami Marlins, Dolphins, all that kind of stuff is marked down 60% right now. So go check out Caneswear.com or go to the store and get yourself all your Inter Miami gear.
Do it, guys. Do it.
Also, let's say a thank you to Vargas Law Group. If you have any immigration questions, and I know so many of us in South Florida do, Federico Vargas is your man. I mean, he's an Inter Miami fan and supporter on top of being a great immigration lawyer. So if you have any questions, mention that you saw this ad on FMTV and you will get a free consultation directly with Federico. Not going to speak to his assistant or anything like that. You're going to go directly to Federico. So thanks so much for both of those guys, or both of those companies or stores or people for sponsoring us.
Yeah, and you know what? We talked to Federico in the Spanish show, Peter, on Tuesday, and man, he knows his soccer and he knows his immigration, guys.
Yeah.
So we threw some questions at him, and he knew what we were talking about. And go ahead, guys, and take advantage of that, and give him a call. You'll talk directly to Federico.
Exactly. Hey, Ed, do you have a second and take a look and say hello? Let's say hello to those that are in the chat room.
Yeah, you know what? These guys have been in here early, Peter, and it was crazy because I got in like 10 minutes early. But hello to Spanish Bull. That's our friend over there in Orlando, even though he's obviously an Orlando City fan. Diego Garcia, how you doing? Alex Z, I'm sending your hat out tomorrow, man. Promise you. Jazz Fusion is there too. Our good friend Eric Thomas, man. Eric Thomas is in the house. Jazz Fusion is also here. I got to chat with all of them a little bit earlier. B King is in the house. Let's see who else. Of course, Ricky Ricardo is in as well. He's always listening to the English part. Ted Sikowski, your buddy Ted Sikowski, Peter, he's here. We've got Jason Weiss is also here. Chris Arjun. God, we got One World, One Goal. She's always in here supporting. Ethan Singh is in here. Jeffrey Reed. I was talking to him on Twitter, and we're going to be talking about everything that we were talking on Twitter, Jeffrey. So give us a second here while I name a couple extra people. And Gerardo Guerrero is also here. Chris Harris, our good friend Chris Harris, is in here. Andres Hoyos, another good buddy of the show. Chattanooga Blanco. Beijos con queijo. He's also in here. And well, hi all you guys. Thanks for showing up. Wow, I don't know if that is that Portuguese, Peter. You should know.
Hey, that's why I smiled. I think so. Yeah, we're beijos con queijo. Yeah, it's,
Queijo.
kisses cheese or something. Isn't queijo is cheese? I think, and beijos isn't that kiss? I don't know.
Kisses with cheese.
Beijos.
A cheese lover.
I don't
Peter.
know. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. I should know Portuguese better than I do, but I don't. I don't. I've only been married for like 18 years, so I should know some Portuguese, but.
What's up with that? Ricky Ricardo knows more than you do.
Okay, but it's easy if you know Spanish to learn Portuguese. It's not that far off. There's a lot of similarities.
But it's funny because Portuguese people speak Spanish better than Spanish speakers speak Portuguese for some reason.
I have noticed that. That is an interesting thing there. But for this gringo here, the language doesn't come easy. I know a lot of words. I just can't put it together. But it's no different than Spanish. I know a lot of words, but I can't put it together. You know, so I don't know. But fun show tonight. I think you know, when we were talking a little bit about what we wanted to talk about tonight. We're also going to talk about Fort Lauderdale a little bit. I've got a voicemail from that wants to talk about Fort Lauderdale, so we'll play that in a little bit.
Why don't you tell them the number, Peter?
Why
that down?
Why don't I put that on the screen here? The phone number, if you want to leave a voicemail, is 786-474-4435. If you want your voice to be heard on the show, that's how you do it. So leave us your voicemail there. And we have one that was sent earlier today, and so we'll get to that. And it's specifically talking about Fort Lauderdale. But before we get to the Fort Lauderdale game, which I did watch last night, Ed, you know, I was actually talking with our buddy Eric Thomas, who just said, I don't know why he's saying this, but he says, Pete don't know. I don't know what.
You don't know, Pete.
I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
Well, I guess he knows that you don't know.
But he knows that I don't know, but I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, how come I didn't get that message? Is the chat going slow, or was that like 3 years ago that message came?
I don't know. There's a lot in here, but I don't know. I saw it.
Yeah,
but
good stuff.
But I was chatting with Eric Thomas a little bit, and we were talking about kind of like, you know, like a lot of fans right now are feeling that, you know, look, we didn't want to break the record of the most losses for an expansion team. So, you know, and I'm seeing so much talk about Alonzo and him being a pragmatic coach and people being upset with Alonzo and this and that. And while we talked about that a little bit last week, and Ed, you said that it's too early, right? We should give him more time. And speaking of somebody who got more time but is gone, is Frank de Boer at Atlanta United is gone. They decided to mutually part ways, Ed. And so, but he had last season. And you know, and they won some trophies with him, but he never quite fit in, right? It was never quite a right fit with that club. And so you got to start wondering, is Alonzo that right fit for us? But then, as
I like that Jazz Fusion says, de boring.
De boring. Hey, man, you know, it's one of my Dutch brethren right there. But in my conversation with Eric Thomas, who's making fun of my Portuguese, that's what he was talking about. Pete, let's let him give me a hard time. Pete's with a woman that speaks Portuguese, but he still doesn't know any Portuguese. Yeah, well, you know. Yep. Hey, that may change in the near future, because later in this year, if Corona allows it, I will have a Brazilian nephew living with me for a couple of months. And he didn't speak any English. So if an interesting thing, and I think we brought this up when we were talking to Federico recently, interesting thing is he's an American citizen, but he's never lived here. So, you know, he was born here and then went straight back to Brazil. So he's going to come and spend some time with me. I'm going to have to brush up on that Portuguese.
Yeah, you're going to be forced to, Peter. Well, soccer will unite you, man. Is he a soccer fan?
I don't know. My wife's family, you would think they are because they're Brazilian, but they're really not. So
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's weird.
But if there's any games to go to, trust me, I will take him there. I will bring him.
He's got no choice. He's got to be. He's got to ride with Peter.
He's got to wear some pink. Here. I'll get. Here we go. He can wear this. You know, I just got this in the mail. You know, one of these things. You know, he can wear this. Yeah.
Well, not after you wore it, but
no, but we can get him one. Anyways, what I was starting to say, Ed, was that.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Pushing buttons. Buttons.
Technical difficulties.
Pushing buttons. As I was saying, is when I was having that conversation, when going down that thought pattern of Alonzo, then you start thinking a couple of things. But you start thinking, who's more to blame? Is it Alonzo, who hasn't had a lot of time with these players, or the guy that hired Alonzo and hired all the players for him to coach? And then Paul McDonough did say earlier on that, you know, that Alonzo was his guy for a long time. Well, then why did it take so long to bring him into the club if he was your guy? So, you know, you start questioning him, and you know, you start thinking, okay, he had success in Atlanta building that team, right? And so we're all expecting him to do the same thing here. But keep in mind, he also helped build that Orlando team that is only good up until this. It's only been good since Oscar Pereira joined. So, you know, they have been, you know, bad forever. He helped build that team. So was Atlanta a fluke? You know, and he's riding high off of that reputation? Or do we also have to give him more time? I don't know. I said a lot, Ed. What do you think?
Well, I think, Peter, you know, if there's anybody to blame, I think he's good because he didn't make this team. He didn't form it. He didn't ask for them. I think the only one he asked for was Pizarro. He's probably asking for players now. So I think this season, he's good. I don't think anything's going to happen to him because he didn't make this team. Next season, of course, it's going to be different because he's going to have a say in what players come and all that good stuff. At the same time, I mean, even if I know you want to blame everything on Paul McDonough, Peter. I know you're going down that.
I mean, no, not necessarily. But listen, I love Paul McDonough, so I would hate for it to be him. But here, let's listen to this. Look at this. Jason Weiss is saying, way too early. We're an expansion team. It's going to take time. We don't even have a complete team yet. Patience. Okay, I get that. That makes sense. But the guy that's pulling the strings and getting us the players, he's responsible for us being incomplete. So if we're pointing a finger, and I'm not saying I'm ready to point to. I have some patience, but I am not the most patient person. Ask my wife. But you know, we're an incomplete team. We keep striking out on all these players. I was reading a chat saying that, you know, hey, there's this other player that's available. We keep striking out. We don't look so good now. You know, well, who's responsible for that? The buck's got to stop at the boss. You know, and right now, Paul McDonough is the boss of the business side and the soccer side, right? So he's the big boss. And so the buck has to stop with him. And if we're incomplete, whose fault is it? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think Paul's not going anywhere either because he's doing two functions now. He's not only doing the soccer side, but he's also doing the business side. Our good friend Jurgen Meinke left the club not too long ago, and Paul is doing that job too. So, man, he's not going anywhere. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, just to say that they won't get rid of him because he's doing two jobs. I mean, you can hire two people. I mean, look, you know, Jorge Mas has proved that they'll pull the string and get rid of somebody if it's not working, right? Getting rid of Jurgen Meinke or decided to part ways. We don't really know the whole story behind there, but he's gone. And we know that the business side seemed to be something broken there, right? So he didn't have a problem getting rid of somebody, what we might think is a little early, patience. But so he's not afraid to pull the trigger. I think at the end of the day, I think both guys are safe for a while, but you got to start thinking, why are we in this situation that we're in?
Well, because, the player definitely, you know, something's not right with the way the players are being played or it's the players themselves. I happen to think that they do have some talent in there. They should have moved some around, but of course, I'm not a coach. I'm just a fan, and I'm thinking, man, they should have put Lee Win in there. Because he holds on to
Yeah.
the ball more.
I
You
mean,
know,
I don't get it. And I see one of the pictures that they show from them training as a big shot of Lee Win, and I'm like, don't even take his picture. If you're not going to play him, don't take his picture.
Yeah, and AJ De La Garza hasn't played a single minute in none of these 5 games, dude. That's a quality player right there.
Yeah.
Why is he sitting on the bench when there's so many crappy players? Well, I'm sorry to say, there have been some players that have been played crappy, and they haven't given this guy a chance. The sweat's gone in there. And he went into the second half of the last game, and I was surprised. I was like, dude, he's finally going to be on the bench. Good. He came out and substituted somebody in, and I was like, where's AJ? There's players there that I think the coach is going for the youth. He's going for the young guys. He's got faith in them because maybe they got better physiques or whatever. But I'm thinking he should have started with some of the older guys. The experience. They played this before. They've won championships. They know what they're doing. The other guys are. I think the younger guys are a little more nervous, and he should have gone with the older guys like you and me.
Well, speaking of an older guy, our buddy Christopher Harris over at worldsoccertalk.com. Go check out that website. He says his vote is for David Beckham to step in as player manager to take Alonzo's place. Look, I know that's a tongue firmly planted in cheek, but
totally.
I know that, but there is something.
But he's
to
onto
that.
something.
David Beckham does need to be more involved. He doesn't necessarily need to be the manager and clearly is past his prime as far as playing, but he should be more involved. I know he was talking about becoming an agent. We'll sign some darn players. Let's get some players. Everybody talks about his name is going to open all these doors for us. Well, it hasn't. And I don't know if it's because I don't know how involved he is behind closed doors, but I got a feeling he's not all that involved.
Yeah. Well, why don't we? There should be some changes in soccer. I mean, they always put different rules in American soccer for some reason. Why don't they have like the designated kicker? That way Beckham could come in, just kick those balls, score, and that's it. What do you think?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, if we're gonna be like, that's like what, like baseball, and they have the designated hitter, right? Which
there we go, the designated kicker.
Baseball is back. I've been watching Little Marlins. I got a free year of their app being on T-Mobile. If you're on T-Mobile, check it out. Not that they're a sponsor or anything, but check it out. I mean, you can watch some baseball if you're into that. A designated kicker, a designated hitter. I mean, why not?
He could still probably kick really well. Just have him come in, score a goal. That's it. He's off the field, and we're all happy.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
What do you guys think? Am I onto something?
No, you're not.
Man.
But all right, and Jason Vies is saying, let's see what he says. This isn't a normal season either. I think a lot of players are going to be naturally hesitant to make a move anywhere right now, especially coming to MLS. We are COVID hotspot right now. Yeah, I get it, but I get it. But that can't be the excuse forever, right? I mean, this isn't going away. So. Then okay, so let's switch gears a little bit, and this goes back to my conversation that I had with Eric as well. He and I were just chatting a little bit, but it got the old noggin thinking a little bit.
Wow, the little mice in there were starting to.
There was some steam coming out as well, so a little bit of steam coming out the top too, and my wife sometimes says something stinks, and maybe I'm thinking burning some. It's coming out.
Some noodles in there.
It's burning some noodles in there, right? So one thing I noticed is that when they have these hydration breaks, all the players, they come off to the side, right? And they huddle around the coach. And when they're doing that, you see huddled around the coach, you see Diego Alonso doing his best coaching, right? We know he doesn't speak much English, very little. He's coaching in Spanish. Could there potentially be a disconnect from those players that don't speak Spanish? Players like Will Trapp, who has not really played as well as we had hoped. We thought Will Trapp, being this great player at Columbus, would come here, do a great job. I was super excited to see him here. He hasn't really performed at what we thought he would be. Could there potentially be a language barrier there when he's doing all his coaching? Not half, but a portion of the team is not following, is not catching what he's throwing down. I mean, and if that's the case, if some of your players aren't able to connect to the coach, and I don't see anybody translating, I didn't see it. I'm not saying it's not happening, but I didn't see it.
Right. I think I've seen Ulloa translating sometimes in some videos. I don't know if there's actually an actual translator for the team, but I've seen him do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, when I see him animated and he's coaching away and all that stuff, I don't see a translator. I see guys passing out water bottles and all that kind of stuff, doing what they're supposed to be doing. I don't see anybody translate. Maybe there is. I don't see it. That's all I could say. But so, that's an issue. And so that could go back to, is Alonzo part of the problem? Is there a disconnect with some of his players? Not everybody in South Florida speaks Spanish. Right.
And that might be a problem. And you might be onto something right there, Peter, but I'm sure they talk about it. I'm sure he sees them. He shows their images and stuff. They use the chalkboard or whatever they use, the drawing board, to tell players where he wants them to be and all that. So, but yeah, you're right. When it comes to those water breaks, well, maybe whoever's translating is out of the picture when we're watching, because you got to think there's a lot of players that are probably huddled around there, and the camera can't pan out and see. You can't see everybody. So I'm hoping there's translations going on, because otherwise he's just talking to the air. We need the coach to be on top of all these guys.
Yeah, exactly. I may be blowing things out of proportion a little bit, but hey, we have to have something to talk about. So it's fun, and that's part of. Here's the thing: is some people saying, it's too early. Are we already talking about this already? I mean, to me, that's the fun of sports talk, and that's what we're doing is having these kind of fun kind of conversations. But there's a problem. And so we start wondering, and, is it the players? Is it the coach that's not picking the right players? Like you said, some of the younger players are playing when the older ones are sitting on the bench. And, I don't know. There's definitely something has to change. Luckily now they have a full month basically to practice and get that team camaraderie up, before the MLS season really kicks off. And just so you guys know, there is a report out on The Athletic about the restart of the MLS season, and I'll go into more detail on a weekday video. But the intent is to go back on August 22nd, and so that's the intent, and it will be played in empty stadiums. For the most part, although they will allow each city and each team to make that decision on their own, right? So we've seen that in USL, that some cities are playing in front of fans, and some of these fans, and I did this on a news video where they didn't really look like they were social distancing as so much. Some of them took their masks off. I got a picture with a family with no mask on. I think they were hanging around their necks, which is a very good spot for them. Does a lot of good there, but. But so potentially, fans can go back in stands, but don't expect it to be here in South Florida. And, actually, I spoke to my my sales rep, and they're talking about just, do you want your season tickets just to move over to next year? So they're not even thinking about me using any of my season tickets this year. It's all talked about as far as next year. So I don't expect us to be back in any stands this year, but again, I'll go into more detail on a midweek video. Hopefully I should be able to get that done this week, where we'll really go through it and talk about the details. Ed, what else? What else?
Good. I heard there was going to be a meeting. With the supporters where they're going to be talking to the salespeople about that, so they can, basically give out information on tickets and all that, if you want refunds or if you want to roll them over. In Peter's case, in my case, we're going to roll over the tickets to next year, or the money to next year, because if they give me that money, I'm going to spend it. and I'm probably gonna get more Inter Miami shirts or something. So and spend it at Caneswear.
That's it. That's it.
So, but no, I'm not gonna do that, Peter. I'm gonna roll it over.
Yeah, same here. I've already had that conversation. But you know what? If anybody does want one world, one goal, if you want to leave a message, yes, please do.
Yeah, guys.
I
What was
realized.
the number again, Peter?
I
there it
just
is.
took it off the screen, but it's it's on my other screen. 786-474-4435.
So give us a call. Didn't we have a message already? Why don't we put it on and see, just to move this show around a little bit?
All right. So if you guys are done with my rambling on about who we should fire, we'll move on.
We should be on the hot seat, not fire, not yet. But
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like I'm not ready for anybody to go. I want to. We're in uncharted territory with this disease going on. I understand, even though we lost the first 5 games, we got a record. Hey, we're first in something. But I'm not ready for anybody to go. I don't want to be like some of these Mexican teams that change a coach every 5 minutes. I don't want to do that. But
they're bad, man. They have rollover easy in Mexico.
But to be on the hot seat, you could be on the hot seat for a while, right? You could be on the hot seat for 6 months, a year. We're just putting a spotlight on what we think may be potentially a problem.
Well, we'll see.
All right.
Let's see where it goes.
Let's listen to a voicemail here. Let's see if this works.
Hello, this is Uncle Ted, 69, from Miami, and originally my parents are from Ecuador. Anyway, I'm calling because I saw the highlights for Fort Lauderdale CF today on YouTube. I didn't get the chance to watch the game on ESPN Plus, but I'll check out their next game hopefully. I actually thought the highlights, they looked pretty good. Same with Inter Miami. We have stretches of good play, but the weird, excuse the noise in the background, I'm at work right now. The weird defensive lapses that come at really bad times, it seems. And sometimes they're even just weird bounces. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Great show. And I hope you have a long career in broadcasting. Okay.
All right there, Ed. You got a fan.
That was Ted.
No, that was Uncle Ted 69.
Uncle Ted 69, and he happens to be Ecuadorian as well.
Yeah, well, at least his parents are.
Right. That's
he didn't say
what
he
a coincidence.
So,
what a coincidence, huh?
Ed, did you watch the Fort Lauderdale game?
I watched parts of it. Unfortunately, I was a little busy at the time, but it was it started off well, and then it all went to hell. You saw more of it, Peter. Tell me what you thought.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing. I watched the entire game, and I'll tell you this. I think, and everybody, looks at sports, soccer, the game differently. I don't claim to be any great soccer analyzer. I'm just a fan with an opinion, and that's it. But I think they were by far the better team against SC Tucson. They controlled the game. I think they did really well. Again, I still haven't remembered their names, but this young Cuban guy that's a defender on the right flank goes up and down the field a lot. He's got this blonde hair, so you can't miss him. I thought he played real well, and the goal that they did score was a beauty. So I think they definitely were the better team. They just were making some dumb fouls that were causing yellow cards, which resulted in reds. Right, so they're just youthful, dumb mistakes. And I was all about I think number 24. Forgot his name, but he's from Coconut Creek. I was about ready to, I'm a newly Coconut Creek resident. I was about to get a shirt with his Frey, I think his name was. Get a shirt with his name on the back. Support the Coconut Creek local boy. And then he gets red carded for second yellow, and gets thrown out of the game. And
time fouls too.
What's that?
There were some big time fouls too.
There was
Two
some big
legs, I
fouls.
mean,
His first foul, I mean, he really took out his own player, but that was real reckless. The second one I thought was a little soft, but he did commit it, and so I thought it was a little soft for a second yellow. I think it should have been a little bit. The first one was really more of a second of a worthy of a second yellow. But anyways, he got thrown out. But after the playing with 10 men, they played with 10 men for the half of the game. They looked still attacking, looked like the better team, controlling the ball. They had 3 minutes left in the game, and this kid Frey gets thrown out of the game. It was like the 87th minute or something like that, plus stoppage time. So it ended up would have been like 7 minutes. But they were about to close out the game and win.
And then
Fell apart. Once they tied it up, scored a goal, it just all fell apart. That goal, the keeper, I mean, the guy heads it, and the keeper just kind of watches it go by. I don't know. I think he must have thought it was going to go wide. I thought keeper should have definitely had that ball. Me and my wife watched it. It was like, what is he doing? He's just kind of watching it go. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on the kid, but there's a lot of potential there. It's like Uncle Ted said. Uncle Ted 69 said, it's just like Inter Miami. They're not blown out, and it's almost the same scores as Inter Miami. 2-1. Yeah. That's kind of our thing.
Right. Scores. They're in the game, but they just can't win.
Yeah.
Is it a curse, Peter?
What's that?
Is it a curse?
I sure hope not. I sure hope not. And how do you break that curse if it's a curse? I mean, is the answer, you have to build a stadium in Miami, and then all of a sudden, they play better?
To do Olympia, what Santeros do, a little cleansing.
Isn't there a thing when some people think that when you buy a new house, for example, you walk around the house with like rosemary or something like that to cleanse it? Isn't that a thing?
Cleanse it. Or they, I'm Catholic, supposedly, so, we put the holy water everywhere,
But I don't know. For some reason, I thought there was a rosemary thing. So, question, did they cleanse that facility?
That's a good question.
Okay, Inter Miami has not played a game in the stadium, but they're using the training facility. Is there some? Did they not properly cleanse? Like you said, did they not bring in the Santeria or whatever Latino thing you want to believe in?
Get a priest in there and throw that stuff around. Cleanse it. Get all the bad juju out.
I mean, if you think about it, there could be some bad juju in that place. Like, I love Lockhart, but Miami Fusion. Let's go back. Strikers failed there, had a bunch of successful years, but eventually failed, right?
And Uncle Ted is actually bringing that up in the chat room too.
Oh, yeah.
They had a curse for a little while.
Yeah, so the Strikers, and then Miami Fusion come in there, fail, had a good season here at the end, but failed. Then the Strikers come back, and they got some Brazilian owners that didn't want to pay the bills. I'd call that a fail. There might be a problem there, Ed.
I don't know, man.
I never thought about that.
Thomas is saying, Peter, what are you saying? That there might be a curse like a poltergeist? It could be.
Look, I don't know. I don't believe in all that kind of stuff necessarily, but it can't hurt to get that Catholic priest in there like they did in the poltergeist. I don't want any of our players spinning around on a bed, spewing stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what happened in that movie, right? It's been a long. Or no, that was The Exorcist. That was Exorcist.
Fusion says who you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they're making a new Ghostbusters movie.
Get those guys over here.
At the very least, if they can't get the Ghostbusters, let's get Ray. What's his name? Ray, the singer. Get him to go out there and perform a concert and do the song "I Ain't Afraid of No Ghosts."
There you go.
Ray Parker Jr., I think is his name.
There you go.
Let's get Ray Parker Jr. out there to perform.
Wow, we had a good memory, man.
I bet you Ray Parker Jr. right now is pretty cheap. They can get him for like a couple $1,000 probably to do a little concert there to play some I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost to get rid of him.
Yeah, that'll get it all out. Yeah, Ray Parker Jr.
Ed, I think we might be onto something.
I'm telling you, Peter. That and and the floaties that we were talking about something earlier, I think we're on to something right there.
Yeah. So one world, one goal. The phone number is 786-474-4435. You were asking. All right. I think we got another voicemail, Ed. If my phone doesn't die here. This phone that I use, if you can, where is it? It is ancient, man. This is like a really old phone.
Wow.
All right. Let's see. I don't know who this is. I have not
previewed
it. I have not previewed it like I did
dangerous. That's dangerous.
Uncle Ted 69. I had already previewed. This one is on the fly right now, so I don't know. So let's go and see what this person has to say.
Hey, Ed, Peter, how you doing, guys? This is Speaker Ricardo.
Oh.
I'm just calling to say you guys are doing great shows every Sunday. And this message was for Uncle Ed. Uncle Ed, come on, it's been more than 2 weeks and you haven't sent that hat to Alex Z. Come on, Ed, get on the ball. Do your job.
Alex, that's
Don't
going
make
out
this guy
tomorrow.
wait
Hey, let him
for
finish.
his hat. All right, guys, greetings, futboleros.
I mean, Ed, don't cut the guy off when he's giving you a hard time. Please.
Oh, yeah.
That's pure gold. I mean, he's got a point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll send it tomorrow.
I
already sent him a message.
You want to give away stuff, you got to send it.
Yeah, my bad, guys. My bad.
All right. Ed, you said there you were talking to somebody on Twitter, and there were some things that you wanted to discuss that were on Twitter. What were some of those things?
Well, we kind of already covered it, Peter. We were talking about whether we got rid of one of the Paul McDonough or Diego Alonso. So I think we basically covered everything that we were talking about. Unless you're still there and you want to keep up the conversation, but I haven't seen him put anything up. So I think we covered it, Peter. I think we're good.
All right. Sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, wait. Here's a random question from somebody. This is another one I have not pre-screened, but let's go with Christian Burnett. Says, hey, guys, totally random question, but what are y'all's thoughts on Daniel Sturridge coming into the club as the big signing? And now that's a name that was I remember doing months ago, a news report on Daniel Sturridge potentially coming here. I think, isn't he a bit like injury riddled?
Yeah, that was his problem. He would get hurt. He was a good player, but he'd get hurt easily. So that was his issue.
And I forget, where is he at now?
I don't remember. He had a contract with the club, and I think right before the pandemic hit, he got released, or they agreed to a release. So I don't remember what team it was. I think it was in Turkey, if I wasn't mistaken.
I like what Chris Arjun says. Well, I don't necessarily like it, but here's what Chris Arjun says. Sturridge comes with a permanent sick note. He's constantly calling in. He's that kid that is always bugging his parents to call in sick. You know, maybe he's like oh, damn, I just forgot the name of it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Do you remember that movie, Ed? Ferris Bueller's Day Off? The beginning of the movie, you got the kid, and he's teaching you how to have clammy palms so you could fool your mother that you're sick. So you touch that trophy, and
no, he licked his palm.
Oh, is that what? But wasn't there something to do with like a trophy that he had?
Yeah, but he used the trophy to rig the door so that when they came in, he would move barely. His whatever body that he put there or pillow would move barely, so they would think that he was moving.
I thought there was more to it with getting his hands clammy. That's a movie. My daughter was going through and wanting to watch a few of the old '80s movies. I gotta watch that one again. I gotta get her to watch such a classic. And if you haven't seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, what's wrong with you, Bueller? Come on, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah. That, and I remember he used to say, worst performance in my life, and they never doubted it for a minute.
Here's a defeatist attitude, but I understand it. Michael Hodgins says, if none of the other targets work out, then Sturridge would be worth a try. That's where we're at. It's like, well, we can't get who we want, so we'll take him. I mean,
Yeah.
He's good when he's healthy.
Yeah.
And that's where
that's
where I keep going back to Paul McDonough. And we know Paul has watched some of these shows, so I'm sorry, Paul. I want you to keep your job. But, like I said last week, Ed, when you said some players might be watching and I had one response, I guess I would have one response to Paul. Just do better. Get us a player. Do better. I mean, we need a specific kind of player. Get them. So, we're at that situation now where we got fans asking questions like, well, I mean, if he's the best we could get, I guess we'll take him.
We'll take Falcao. Look, a lot of people are talking about Falcao right now.
Of course we'll take him.
Galatasaray fans are begging for Falcao to leave the club. Really? I thought he was scoring goals. There's a player that we can have. They don't want him.
Where's he at?
Goals.
Where's he at now?
Radamel Falcao. He's good with Galatasaray in Turkey.
Okay.
Good player.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the kind of player that when I think of a DP, I want somebody that's not just a great player, but somebody you can market. With the Colombian, people in South Florida, that is definitely somebody.
That guy will sell jerseys. I saw some videos today. I think it was on Facebook, where people actually went to the stadium yesterday and took pictures, and they all had Falcao in the back.
Wait, so there was, but I saw there was a video of I think it was the Northern Pack guys that were at the stadium, and they were
apparently
singing.
it was only 2 of them. And the rest were people that were there to take pictures of the Falcao shirts.
Oh, well, I don't know. Then they were smart to put up their flag because that's who I thought they all were.
People were there and they took pictures. But I think it was for the game that they were there.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Were they there for the Fort Lauderdale game, hanging out outside while the game was being played?
I think so because I saw some lights on there, so I think they were
right.
They were hanging out for that.
That's cool. I'm happy that the security didn't shoo them away because look, I've walked up to that gate numerous occasions to do my construction videos. I have been told to get away at times. Sometimes I've been invited in long time ago, you and me. Yeah. But most of the time it's like, hey, what are you doing? Do you work here?
Call the cops on you. That stalker's back. Get him out of here.
Yeah. All right.
We'll give him a hard time.
All right, we got another voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, Peter and Ed and Ricardo, who's there, but he's not there, but he's there. And shout out to Chris Harris from our good old Fusion days. I see he's on, and everybody else in the chat. Enjoy you as always. Listen, before I throw Paul Macca, as Ray Hudson calls him, under the bus, they really just hired too early. Do we go all the way back to Beckham taking 7 years to bring in the team? Which I understand wasn't all his fault, but still, at the last second, we literally got Pizarro like the week before. In fact, Pizarro didn't even play the first preseason game. He wasn't even officially signed yet. And then the coach too, remember he was last second. There was no marketing done. If you look at the template of what the Fusion did, you really would have started signing and getting everyone from June to November. And then from November through March, you did all the marketing, and then by March you opened. Now, granted, we didn't get to open. I get that because of this situation, but no one has a connection to the players. We didn't get to meet them. Nobody took a picture with them. There were no big events. And, we're expecting huge parties like at Bayfront Park and, lots and lots of events. I know Beckham is stuck in England now, but we really need to get embedded in the community and have the fans really feel comfortable and, really a part of the team to buy in. So when we lose, you're not going to throw everybody under the bus. But the Fort Lauderdale team, looking great. Those kids are all academy kids. They're sharp. They're all playing very well. And I saw Diego Alonso was there watching the game, so hopefully he signs Rosales and Reggio. Look, I think it's Reggio, something like that. The blonde-haired kid and the number 19, they look good. Thanks. Enjoy the show. Bye.
All right. Thank you. One world, one goal. Eric Thomas right off the bat is responding. One world, we were horribly constructed, and it was a slap-bang operation. Very bad. I mean, I can't disagree with him. Cannot disagree with him.
Sponsorship's another thing.
This whole organization, I mean, and that goes from the top. So if you if we're going to put somebody in the hot seat, but you can't fire him because he's an owner, Jorge Mas is the managing partner. The buck really stops with him. We love Jurgen Menke, great guy, probably the wrong hire. At least it looks like it was the wrong hire. Didn't announce any sponsors, took forever to get them, still don't have a shirt sponsor, and you could blame Corona on that. But, I mean, they should have had the shirt sponsor before this pandemic happened to begin with, right? And then, you've got your guy in charge of soccer operations who we think is the right guy and we think is going to do a great job, but for whatever the reason is, can't seem to get the player that we want or need. There was no marketing. Who do you blame for that? I guess maybe that goes back to Jurgen Menke because he was in charge of the front of the house. But there was so many things that were misconstructed. But luckily, here's the positive: is luckily they get to restart whenever we get on the other side of this. Whenever there's some sort of shot that we can all take, right? And once we get on the other side of this, and hopefully that's by the next season. They can restart. They can start it the way they really wanted to, have those parties, have those meet and greets, get embedded with the players and all that. But my question is, okay, we get to meet and greet and players and they get to sign autographs, say, hey, we love them, all right, we're all good. Does that make them play better? Because right now that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know, Peter. We've got issues for sure. But this has been a crazy year. For everybody. I think all the fans wanted to be out there and watching the games in the stadium, and there was a tifo ready for the first game, and we never got to use it. It'll be used, I'm sure, next year, but there it is. It's there, and everybody, they had the drums ready. Everybody was ready, dude. It was crazy, and now it looks like this year nothing's going to happen. So it's frustrating for the fans. It's frustrating for the players as well, because I think we were off to a good start. When the season started, I was confident that we were going to get that win against the Galaxy, and then we had this tournament. It's not the same playing, in front of players, in front of fans, than it is, playing in those look like practices, other than them being televised on TV. They look like glorified practice games. So they don't have that incentive to score. They don't have their fans supporting them, so it's an issue, man. I think that also has some influence on the players.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a little bit of drama in the chat as far as Colombians wanting Colombian players. Footballers saying, stop promoting your Colombians. But look, I don't care. I don't care where you're from as long as you're good. But if you can also tie into a big population in South Florida, that's a benefit. Whether it be Colombian or Brazilian, because there's a huge Brazilian community. William would have done wonders for this club.
Would have, yeah.
I mean, there's so many Brazilians around where I live now. Holy cow, I'm in Little Brazil almost. But
Wife must be happy.
Yeah, she is. We actually bought this house from a Brazilian too. Pure coincidence. But look, that's just a benefit of maybe a smart hire for a DP is that marketing. So I don't care where you're from as long as you're good. But if you could tie it into a local population of people, that makes sense. Right.
Well, look, and Eric Thomas is making fun of me. He's saying we weren't going to beat the Galaxy. In hindsight, you can see that, my brother. It probably would have ended 2-1. He might be right. We probably would have lost 2-1 because that's been the trend lately. 1-0, 2-1. That's what we're getting used to, I guess.
I'm being told to read what Jazz Fusion said. He said a few things, but I'm thinking she wants me to read this one because that's her buddy. Find the next Cerna. Start there. I'm sure that's the one. I'm sure that's the one she wanted me to read, but because there's a relation there. That's a little home cooking there. Look, that's fine. But Cerna would never have been a DP. So he would have just been maybe a TAM player. I don't know how much he would have, in today's MLS.
Yeah.
But a Diego Cerna that, runs through the defense and you know, the knock on Diego, and it's legit, was if you breathed on him, he would fall. You know, but I thought I remembered a quote, and she could correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I remembered a quote one time of him saying,
diver.
I thought I remembered him saying sometime that he doesn't dive, he just makes sure the referee sees what really did happen. So maybe it's an exaggeration. So, you know, but anyways, we love
Diego.
Diego.
Gone to acting too, man. He would have been great, man.
Yeah.
Hell of a diver. Or diving. He was a good diver. You know, throwing it out there.
I'm not saying he was a diver. We love Diego. Diego's a great guy, still in the community. Love him. It definitely, if you could find a player like that today, that'd be a gem. I mean, he was like, he would, El Humvee, I think, wasn't his nickname or something. He would bulldoze through players, something like that, and score goals. I mean, flying, you know, he was the kind of player that other teams hated because he was leaning up against them all day. I mean, so, you know. All right, let's see. Footballer is responding. Peter, Miami has a lot of non-native football fans. Therefore, nationality should not a main decided on whom to hire. Imagine if Inter hires an Ecuadorian. Mr. Ed will be blamed for that. Yeah, we would definitely blame Ed for that. You know, there was a player that's been floated around that's an Ecuadorian that some people were talking about.
Don't know Valencia, but the thing is,
he's a defender, right?
He plays as a defender, also on the right wing. He's a good player, but he'd probably take the Morgan's position if they bring him, because I don't think they'd play him as a defender. He could play either position. He's still fast. He's up there in the age though, but I think he's 34 or something like that. He's still a good player. I mean, he played only 6 months in Ecuador, so he's available now. He's a free agent. So I don't think he'd be too expensive. He'd probably want to come to Miami.
Would he be a DP?
I think we could give him TAM money and he'll be happy. To come to Miami, I think he'd be okay.
And then if he's bad, we blame you because you and Ricky Ricardo, because you guys are the Ecuadorian contingent.
Blame Ricky Ricardo, guys.
Oh, okay. We'll blame him.
Uncle Ed here.
Yeah. Look, you know, Yuri is asking where Fernando Fiore is. I don't know. He hasn't really been on TV much, has he?
He's been doing some stuff for I think a Honduran and Salvador channel called Tigo Sport. I think you guys should check him out. He's on. He also restarted his YouTube channel. So look up Fernando Fiore, and he's starting to put up stuff every week or every two times a week, I think. So check out Fernando Fiore, guys.
All right. So this is a valid question here because I was thinking a little bit of this as well. So let's go with Napoleon Picanha. Question: if Inter does not sign a big name DP this season, do new Miami soccer fans jump off the bandwagon? Does the front office have a contingency plan? You know, look, that's something I've talked about from a long time ago, was that getting the DPs, you know, getting a big name, it's partially about marketing. I was talking about it earlier tonight. And that's attracting new fans, converting baseball fans into soccer fans, converting, you know, volleyball fans, whatever you like, into soccer fans. But, you know, and these guys, they look, Jorge Mas, David Beckham, they kind of promised us this glorious team. We're gonna be the Galacticos, right? We're gonna be the best. We're going to show everybody what football is like. But then we have this as the product, incomplete product. Where's the real glorious football? You know, so those fans that were promised everything, now they see us losing 5 games in a row. Do they bail on this team? Those are your bandwagon fans. And Miami is such a fickle market that, you know, we only really support winners. You know, Dolphins play to an empty stadium unless they're good. And then if the stadium's full, it's because they're all Jets fans or Bills fans or Patriots fans or something like that. They're all visitor fans. So will Miami's fickle sports fans support a losing team if we don't get this right? What do you think, Ed? Ed?
Well, yeah. I hear you, Peter. I'm with you on that, man. I mean, I've just been, distracted over here with the conversation in the chat.
Wait, I went on that long rant. You didn't even pay attention?
Sorry, man. I was just concentrated on everybody.
All right. I'll just
Ted
continue.
Stikowski is saying, bring Polish players or else. Oh, man. Dude, everybody's just going with all their nationalities, on all the different players that they should bring. So this is hilarious, man. I'm cracking up with all this stuff.
Yeah, well, anyways, what I was trying to say, Ed, is that,
sorry.
and luckily our viewers are listening, and is that, Miami is a fickle sports town, and if we don't provide winners, people tend to bail. So how many of these new fans that came on board are going to bail if they don't see a winning product? Right now, we don't have a winning product. When they do open up the stadium, are we going to see an Orlando-looking stadium? Right? Orlando Stadium the last couple of years has been pretty bleak. And, they started strong, but then once they started losing for 5-6 years in a row, however many years they've been around, the stadium is now, kind of empty. Maybe it'll fill back up with Oscar Pereira creating an entertaining team, a team that can actually win some games. But we're going to be in a similar situation. We've got a lot of hype around the team-ish, but there's a lot of new fans, and they may not stick around for a crappy team. Look, I'm used to supporting crappy teams. It's kind of a joke in this house that I support the Miami Dolphins. Bad.
Crap team.
Yeah. Miami Marlins. Crap, right? Not been good for a long time. Florida Panthers. Not a big hockey guy, but if you ask me who I like, I'll tell you it's the Panthers. I support the United States men's national team.
Whoops. There's another one.
Enough said. I supported the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Nah, they weren't so good either, right? Most of the time. A lot of the teams I support... Wait a minute, am I the problem?
It might be you, Peter.
Oh, Jesus.
We might need to get you the Olympia. You need to be the one that needs to be cleansed with rosemary.
Am I on the hot seat?
I'm going to get a priest. Might be you, man.
Am I the one? Should I put my picture in the thumbnail? Am I on the hot seat? I don't know. Am I going to get fired from the team?
This could all be because of you, Peter.
We don't want you as a fan. Get out of here. No team you like is successful. Get out of here.
Lose.
I don't know, but there's something there that I'm used to. So I'm used to supporting a losing team. I'm used to it. I'm not going anywhere. But what about these other people?
Well, we'll see, man. Look at that. ESL TV is saying we need Silva and Cavani, both free agents. Yeah, but they're expensive, and from what I heard, Cavani wants too much money.
There, Jason V says, "There's the curse, Peter."
Yeah.
Jazz Fusion saying, "Take one for the team." Andres Hoya says, "There's the curse." Yeah. Well, guess what, folks? I ain't going anywhere. So our team's gonna suck for a while.
Oh no. That's not what we wanted to hear, Peter.
I ain't going anywhere.
Wow.
So deal with it.
I think everybody's realizing you're the guy to blame. You're the one.
Here we go. Eric Thomas says he'll create a home kit with a burning dumpster on the front. Maybe you can wear that. Sure. I'll wear it.
Well, so it's on fire in the chat room right now. Everybody's cracking up with all the comments on you and your and all the players also. They're mentioning tons of players. Look at that. They're saying that
the curse will end once Ed sends Alex his hat.
That's true.
All right.
Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe that's
the hat
it.
out earlier.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should have given me the hat. I was shipping stuff. I had to ship something to Amazon. I had to return something to Amazon. I was at the UPS store the other day. Yeah, I was shipping all kinds of stuff.
Oh well, I'll do it tomorrow. First thing.
All right. So, anyways, guys, I think we're at the end. And there's lots of talk now, just guys talking about players. Cavani keeps constantly coming up. He wants too much money. He doesn't want to come. All that kind of stuff. And that's the thing that's frustrating is another question. Wrong question. This is wrong time to start a new question, but it's a continuation. Is that are our sights too high? Are we just aiming too high? For our first DP, and maybe it needs to be something a little more realistic, especially in our current situation that we're in. Maybe we need to lower our sights. But the problem is Jorge Mas has kind of already gotten us ready and feeling like, hey, we're going to be the team that teaches everybody football. So,
well, yeah,
and Yasiel TV is saying, how about Silva? Yeah, I mean, Silva, we'll take him.
That would be great.
It'd be great.
I'd love to have him.
It'd be great, but can they make that deal
one
happen?
DP spot, so that's our issue right now. We only have one DP spot. There's TAM money for one player, that's good but not that expensive. That's why Valencia I think would be perfect for TAM money, because he'd probably go for that, and then maybe but we need a forward, man. We need a forward. Get Zlatan. He's gonna leave.
Yeah, all right.
He's 100 years old, but that guy can still score.
He can, but somebody's got to get him the ball right now. Our midfield isn't what it needs to be either. That partnership in the middle there isn't working with Uoa and Trapp.
Right. Well,
all right.
See what comes up.
We could go on and on, I think, for another hour about this. There's problems. We don't have the answers. But luckily, we've got a good group of fans, and hopefully any new fans that are out there, stick around. This is really where you're being tested as a true fan. Are you in it for the long haul? Are you in it for the dark days? Because we didn't think the dark days would be in the beginning. But the way that things have gone with this franchise, nothing has been easy. Yeah. So, it's to be expected, I guess.
And we know because we've been there since the beginning.
Here's, I just want to throw this out here so we can talk about this maybe in the future. Christian Barnett says, for a separate video, can y'all discuss Miami Freedom Park versus Overtown Stadium possibility? I believe that the Overtown might not be ideal, but we could get that stadium built fast. Yeah, sure. We could talk about it. We can definitely have some opinions on that property. It's but that's a good topic for another day. Thanks, Christian. Hey, and if you guys have any other topic ideas, throw them in the chat on any of the once this video's done. You can go back in and throw some new comments in the chat and what you want us to talk about, or ask that question in the beginning of the next week's show and stuff like that. So. Yasiel TV says FC Cincinnati is doing better than us. Yeah, but I don't know. They're in their second year, so at least that there's that. All right, guys. Thanks so much for spending some time with us this week. Make sure to tune in on Tuesday to spend some time with Uncle Ed and Ricky Ricardo.
Hablando en español. We'll be talking everything soccer in Miami and beyond.
And I plan on doing some sort of video in the midweek. Maybe it's a live video. Probably not. Hopefully I can find the time to do some editing and put together something where we're talking about the beginning of the new season. And then next week, I won't be available. But Ed will. Yeah, we'll figure it out, right? We'll figure it out. Going to Disney. Going to go to Disney.
Again.
I got tickets. I got annual tickets. I got to use them. So,
all right, Peter.
All right. Problem. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Please like this. We only see 6 thumbs up. The thumbs up actually help, from what I understand, thumbs up help us getting promoted by YouTube. So the more thumbs up that we have, the more we'll get pushed into other people's feeds. So, if you're watching this, you should thumbs up it, right? And if we did a decent job, right? And if you had fun with us, so give it a thumbs up, and we would appreciate it.
Or thumbs down it if you thought it was bad because Peter's cursed.
I didn't say any bad words, Ed.
No, but you're cursed.
I didn't say any bad words. I'm not cursed.
Yeah, but you're bad luck for Inter Miami.
All right, everybody. See you next week. Thanks so much for spending your time with us. Thank you for throwing some more likes in there. I see them growing a little bit, and. I won't get the Rona in Disney. I'm wearing one of my new masks. I'll wear this upside down. I'll wear this. I got some new masks in the mail. Got that one. I got this one. So I'm covered. I'll be covered. And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Yes. Huh?